Over the weekend, a major cluster of COVID-19 infections were discovered on a Taiwanese naval battleship, with 24 people so far having been diagnosed. The ship spent 6 days in isolation at Kaohsiung Harbor after a trip to Palau. The first cases were discovered on Saturday after everyone was released from isolation. The source of the infections is still unclear, with no COVID-19 cases having been found on Palau. Doctors say there will have been several rounds of transmission of the virus in the 30 days since the ship left Palau, and they are looking to carry out antibody tests to discover others who may have already recovered from the infection.
The first 3 cases discovered could possibly have come from separate sources. Of course, we can't be completely sure, but there was a certain gap between the timing of the infections.
24 people on the Panshih have been diagnosed with COVID-19. The ship was docked in Palau from March 12th to 15th. On April 9th, it arrived at Zuoying Military Harbor in Kaohsiung. The ship was supposedly in isolation for 6 days, but in reality, some crew members got on and off the ship in that time. On April 15th, everyone on board left isolation. On April 18th, officials realized that someone on board had COVID-19 symptoms since April 12th. That's patient number 396. Then tests began and the cluster of infections was discovered.
We generally expect the incubation period to be about 5 days. They were at sea for about a month. So just in that period of a month, there must have been a chain of infections, 6 at the most, or at least 3. They were at sea for too long, and they only realized the virus had been with them all that time after they disembarked. So the 3 who were initially discovered on April 18th definitely cannot be the first ones who caught it.
The 744 people who were on the ship were taken to an isolation center for testing in an attempt to prevent further spread of the cluster. Dr. Huang Li-min says that as well as viral RNA tests, they should be given blood tests to detect antibodies to find out who else caught the virus and recovered.
Our investigations now cannot rely solely on PCR or antigen tests. We must also do blood tests to detect antibodies.
The Central Epidemic Command Center says several individuals have already tested positive for COVID-19 antibodies.
Of 5 people tested, 3 already have antibodies for COVID-19. The nucleic acid test they took on Saturday evening came out negative, but they actually have the antibodies in their blood, which means they previously had COVID-19.
Dr. Chang Shan-chwen says those 5 had antibody tests because they previously displayed mild symptoms of COVID-19. Officials expect further cases may be uncovered as they go through data from the ship's medical office.